Again, I think you all know I don't consider bananas really an ideal food for us because of their relatively low water content. And again, it's relative, right? So it's higher than a lot of things, but lower than most of the fruit that we eat. And a higher glycemic load. So how ripe should a banana be when you eat it? Well, it should be ripe enough that you can digest it, and not too ripe that it's already beginning to ferment. So, we have bananas on the plants right now. If you could get one off, they wouldn't be easy to pick because it's hard. But if you could get it off there, you could probably kill somebody with it. They're that hard. If you put that banana on your counter and waited for 3 months, or a month, whatever it would take, eventually you would have a pile of goo, which would be creating alcohol, and you wouldn't want to eat. So somewhere in between those two extremes, there's a window of opportunity. There's a point at which it's ripe enough to eat. Your body has to contribute to the digestion of it a little bit, to the breakdown of the starch, perhaps, but it can handle it. There's a point at which you can't handle it. It's going to be overwhelmed. There's a point at which you can handle it. Okay, we make salivary amylase. Amylase is a starch-splitting enzyme. Why do we make amylase if we're not intended to eat starches? Because we're fruit eaters, and sometimes fruits are not perfectly ripe. So the body has to be able to contribute some starch-splitting enzymes and be able to maximize the benefit. Now, if that banana's rock hard, you're going to have a heck of a hard time digesting that. Don't eat that. If it doesn't taste good, if it tastes starchy, it's too early to eat. It needs to be yellow. You guys, where you live, you probably need to eat your bananas when they're spotted. Here, that's not necessarily so. Why would it be different? Because the bananas you eat are mostly, for most of you, the bananas you're getting are probably picked too ripe. Let's try that again. Are probably picked too soon, too early, and gassed in order to ripen them. Okay, they use ethylene gas, which is a naturally occurring product. So when the fruit ripens, it's producing ethylene by itself. But this is an unnatural process. They're taking something that was not allowed to ripen fully on the plant, which means it's never going to have the full complement of sugar or nutrients, and then they're gassing it in order to get it to ripen. So it ripens differently than when it ripens in nature. And we don't have to wait for it to turn yellow on the plant, or red in the case where we don't have to do that. We just have to wait until it's finished forming, okay? And when the banana flower loses its petals, we can cut the banana and take it inside, and it will finish ripening and ripen perfectly well inside the kitchen. And the advantage of doing that, the birds and the bats can't get it. Because if you leave it on the plant until it's perfectly ripe, there won't be very much available to you. The animals are going to get into them, okay? So we want to be eating bananas in this window of opportunity, not too soon, not too late. I seriously doubt there's any variety of banana that's going to contribute nearly as much water as most of the other fruits that we eat. There are some other dry fruits. Mamey sapote is pretty dry. Nisperos are relatively dry. Dates are, dates are different because they're allowed to dry before they get picked in order to make them sweeter. Where most other fruit will rot, dates tend to not rot. Why not? Because they come from a completely dry environment. You have dates in Israel, I'm sure. Yeah. Because Israel's a desert, right? So dates grow, and people say, how come you don't plant date palms? Well, there's a couple of problems with date palms growing here. They need, on average, 100 days of 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 38.5 or 39 degrees Celsius, something like that. They need 100 days of that. I've been here in Costa Rica for 3.5 years. At the elevations I've lived at, we haven't had one day in 3.5 years of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So they're not going to grow here. They also don't want a lot of rain. They grow in the desert. So they're not intended for this climate. They're not the right fruit.
What about persimmons? Do you eat persimmons?
Persimmons, yeah. Yeah,
What's your take on that? I love them.
Yeah, persimmons are great. Yeah.
Like 80?
Well, much higher in water than a banana, I would guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what the water content is, but
I think it's a little bit more than a banana.
One that is
But
like
not
this.
the most.
I would guess it's in the 80s.
Yeah, so low 80.
Yeah.
Why do I feel so bad after I have persimmons in Israel?
I don't know. Well, the question was, why does she feel so bad after she eats persimmons in Israel? And they grow many persimmons in Israel, so it's not like they're being imported. They're fresh and probably delicious and probably organic.
No, not organic.
Not organic. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know if they use a lot of pesticides, but not organic. But many people have problems eating fruit. Many people do. And it's almost never because there's a problem with fruit. Fruit is the perfect food for the human body. It's what our bodies were intended for. Our closest primate relatives live almost exclusively on fruit when they can get fruit. It's in the months where they can't get fruit that they're eating other things for the most part. So why would we have problems? Well, if it's not the fruit, what could it be? Could it be that there's something going on in your body that's interacting with certain fruits in a way that makes you feel not so good? Well, I'd say, yeah, absolutely. Right now, your body is having the chance to heal itself. So there's a very good chance that will cease to be an issue for you by the time you're finished here.
I've been having like a lot of problems with the acid of like apples and
Uh-huh.
citrus.
Uh-huh.
Is that common in
What kind of problems are you talking about?
like feeling weird? Like the acid is, I don't know.
Well, I've never heard of anyone reacting to acid in particular in fruit. Most of the fruits we eat are subacid fruits.
But
So most have a fair amount of acid in them.
if I eat like a apple,
Uh-huh.
maybe it's so unripe that
Well, so if you're eating unripe fruit, whether it's acid, sweet, or subacid, you're going to have a problem with it because unripe fruit is very, very difficult for our bodies to digest. As I said a few minutes ago, you know, we have amylase in the mouth so that we can finish the process. You know, if we have something that's not quite ripe, but it's all that's available, we can get some benefit from it. But if we're eating fruit that's picked way too early,
If no bananas have high enough water content, why would Lucas say you're a very big fan of the purple bananas?
because I am.
Why are you a fan of them if you don't like it?
Because they taste amazingly good. Let me clarify because I want everyone to be as clear about this as possible, okay? If you're trying to go from 66 to 70% or 72% lean hydration up to the point your body is feeling and functioning as well as possible, you're going to have a much easier time getting there if you're eating high water content fruits almost exclusively, okay? Once you get there, your body can much more easily tolerate the occasional meal of lower water content food. Not stuff that's, you know, you don't want to be eating dried food. You don't want to sit down to cereal and toast, but having a fruit that's 75% water won't be nearly as difficult for your body as it may be when you're trying to get there, okay? So first of all, there's all that. Now, you know, again, I mean, my original answer to your question, why do I like red bananas if they're low in water, is because I like them. I mean, you know, this conversation's coming from here, right? I mean, part of it's in the body. I asked you the question just a few days ago, how many of you have to drink water when you eat bananas, and most of you raise your hand. It's a common experience. We eat bananas and it feels like we need some water because they're so dry. Red bananas, again, I don't know what the water content is, but if I have red bananas and regular bananas, I'll never touch the regular bananas. I'll eat the red bananas every day until they're gone and never once touch the other bananas. They just don't, these bananas don't do anything for me. The red bananas, they're amazing. My body loves them. It feels great when I eat them, and they don't make me need more water. I'm already really well hydrated, so it's less of an issue for me than it would be for somebody else.
How often would you do something like that?
When I have ripe red bananas, I've got a bunch of red bananas right now on the tree, on one of the plants. They're not going to be ready while most of you are here. It's going to take a while. By the time, when they're ready, I will probably eat them every day until they're gone.
Do you think your hydration would drop after doing it?
Well, I don't know.
Should we have a cucumber or two before, like half hour before?
No.
Load up on the water?
No.
And then eat our bananas?
Which part of no don't you understand? No. No. Okay? What part of your body is telling you eat a cucumber before you eat a banana? What part of your body? Is that like your physical body, or is that like your brain is trying to come up with a strategy? Okay? Live in your body. Okay? Live in your body. If eating red bananas makes my body want more water, then when my body needs more water, I'll do something about it. If I eat the cucumbers first, what's going to happen to the excess water that my body doesn't need at that point? I'm going to pee it out. It's not going to help me anyway. I'm not going to outthink my body. Okay, the best thing to do is to get your body clean and well functioning and live in it and vacate that space you've spent your entire life so far up here. Get into your body. Okay, listen to your body.
I guess your body needs to be clean before you can do that.
Well, your body...
Listening to my body now, I'm going to eat a lot of dates, bananas.
Yeah, exactly. Your body needs to be clean and well functioning to be able to, A, get those messages clearly, and B, be able to trust them. I mean, think about the body of a heroin addict. What message are they going to get? Take heroin. Okay, the same is true for anybody addicted to anything. It could be cocaine, nicotine, alcohol, bread, sugar. It doesn't matter. You're going to get a message to consume those things. So you got to get your body clean. It's got to be well functioning, and you need to practice being in touch with it. It's going to take some practice. Okay, when you're done here, you're going to find that you're not going to get it exactly right every time. I think Naomi spoke with some of you the first night you were here about this, right? It's a learning process, isn't it?
That is.
I mean, after 24, 25 years of
Stuff in your face.
of not paying attention to the body at all, we don't instantly become able to understand its messages. It's almost like it's a language we've never spoken before. So it's going to take a little practice. You'll figure it out. You'll get it.